Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we're actually talking a little bit more about the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, as you guys probably have seen throughout these past 2 or 3 days or so, we've seen a really big influx of just a lot of big news on it. Now, we're seeing a lot more leaks, a lot more actual specifications in regards to the console itself, and right now I think things are looking a lot more better in terms of the confirmation that it will be coming out in the very near future. But right now, we actually apparently have even more bigger leaks that came out in the past even 2 hours or so. I'm not really sure exactly how much it's different compared to the other prior different console leaks, etc. etc. So we're going to go through that, and as well also have a pretty good comparison between the PlayStation 5, these current consoles, versus the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, I might go do a really quick video maybe later on just for the algorithm, just to be hey, what's the big kind of differences between the two? This one's going to be more the in-depth one, where I'm going to give you guys kind of my thoughts, why it's good, what's happening, what's changing, etc. So be on the lookout for both of those. As well as happy St. Patty's Day. Don't forget we have a Samsung promotion going on where they have a giveaway and also a pre-order bonus linked down below. We have the Twitter and Twitch. I'm probably doing a little bit of drinky drinks for St. Patty's Day, so make sure you guys are following up on Twitch, and of course, give me your thoughts and comments on everything down below. So, as I mentioned, the PlayStation 5 Pro has been very proactive as of today. Now, these past 2 days or so has been all over the place. Brand new spec leaks, kind of seeing the big big picture, and there were prior leaks out before, but it seems like right now everything is fine-tuning into what we're about to expect. Now, this is still expected for the fall of this year of 2024, and right now we're also seeing big details on their rumors and speculation still on if the GTA 6 will also be launched. So we're kind of seeing a lot of a build up and build up and build up on these consoles. So let's go talk about it. So right now, fallen as of this leaks on the PlayStation 5 GPU specs and performance targets. Insider Gaming has learned more PS5 Pro specs. So for comparison's sake, they're also going to be concluding the specifics on the PlayStation 5, so you guys can also have a rough idea. Like I said, I may make another quick separate video on this later on tonight as well. Same with that, the system memory. So this is basically just what is going on. So a big thing to note is that we're also seeing, high level on this, we're also seeing that the PlayStation 5 Pro will also maybe have a somewhat secondary system. This is not confirmed, but from all the other leaks, that they'll have an operating system on a smaller memory side, and then have a pure memory for you to download games, delete games. So the standard PlayStation 5 is 448 gigabytes. Over there at around 14 GTSs. I'm not really sure specifically, and that was probably just the encoding and basically the writing speed of all these. So basically, if you're downloading a game, it would probably that's more so it be installed into your console quicker. Now, this is not really a big thing. These are probably more of just a minutes. So, but it's still kind of nice. If I'm downloading a game, it's in the background, I'm cooking dinner, taking a shower, going to work, whatever it might be. So it's still nice to see a slight improvement though. So PS5 Pro will be moving up to 578 gigabytes per second with 18 GTS, and basically has a 28% as well. So basically what it's saying is that it's more of a more efficient. It's a better console itself. So the PS5 Pro system memory is more efficient than the standard console. So the bandwidth gain may increase by over 28%. So it's just nice. It's basically just more efficient. Kind of how we have the SSDs themselves. We're better at faster writing. This will just be overall more efficient in terms of everything else with it. Now the CPU though is a little bit more of a bigger issue. This may even be a separate video and a separate topic as I do a more of a deeper dive. So I give you guys a proper good video on it. This is my understanding. I wouldn't mind doing more research. But right now we're seeing the rumors that the CPU is actually kind of very lackluster compared to the improvements of it. So the CPU is identical to the standard PlayStation 5, which if you're going for a Pro version, you don't want to have the same standard of a prior console. I'm sure you guys would agree. However, the Pro has a high CPU frequency mode, which takes the CPU to 3.85 gigahertz, a 10% increase over the standard console. So that in high frequency mode, more power is allocated to the CPU and will downclock the GPU by around 1.5%, resulting in actually a 1% lower GPU performance. Now, some of this stuff may lead towards more sketchiness, mainly because it's just kind of re-diverting power. So a little bit more into the CPU, a little bit less in the GPU. It probably would still be an overall increase though, because the GPU itself, I do believe, is also an improvement. So it's kind of okay, but at the same time, and I want to hear your thoughts on this one, might be a separate video, but I don't really want to have a console that is not improving everywhere. Now, this is kind of overclocking or superclocking your GPU. You can already do that on your PC, where basically just kind of allocate more power towards it, increases your energy bills, and also it puts more strain on the console itself. But as of right now, it's kind of standardized, so it's not the worst thing to do. It's it's okay. It's kind of let's say you're driving your car, instead of going for 80 miles an hour, you go 90 miles an hour. So it may not be the most efficient, but it's still If you did probably every day, you're probably fine. It will still put a little bit more tear on your engine, sure, but it's like not the biggest deal. But I think this is like a big thing where like some of the specs are may not the best. So I want to hear everyone's thoughts and comments on this one down below. But yeah, it's like the same as the PlayStation 5. So if I'm going for a pro version, I want it to be better, especially because a lot of games do utilize CPU, and I can name quite a few. I think like a Minecraft is very, very CPU heavy. So like a mediocre CPU is not the best. Now we'll have to see because like they're kind of, like I said, they're kind of allocating different resources all around. The audio. So the ACV in the PlayStation 5 Pro runs at a higher clock speed over the standard PlayStation 5 as well, so resulting in the ACM library having 35% more in performance. So as more convolution reverbs can be processed and more FFT or IFFT can be processed. So that just means that it's just having a little bit more of a deeper bass, a little bit more of a treble. Like it's all about that treble, all about that bass, baby. But when it comes to this, it's just nicer. It's just a slightly better encoding for it. It runs nicer. You'll have slightly better sounds. Probably better if you're maybe running like a studio setup. Like imagine you have like those cool speakers for your like a home theater system. It'll be nice. Also headsets, I'm sure will be a slight improvement too as well. But I'm sure most people more care about the specs on like GPU, CPU rather than audio. But I mean, it's nice if you're getting a little bit of improvement on everything. Give me a little bit of everything. Put a little sprinkle on that. And then the GPU, which was previously also revealed to as well, which does have a 45% faster than the PlayStation 5, which that's a big win. Like having better specs regardless, that is a win. So this is like where I think probably the bread and butter of the PlayStation 5 Pro. They also have 2 to 3 times better ray tracing, or 4 times probably if it's more an efficient console itself. So that's just nice. Ray tracing is kind of like the big next bump up for like shadows, lighting fixtures, water fixtures, or everything else it might be. And that's a win. Like that's a win. I'm okay with this. Like I want this. Although once again, don't forget it might be actually losing specs though from the CPU. 33.5 teraflops, which is not bad. It's kind of just a good GPU improvement. PSSR, which is kind of being the big wordage, which I may want to also once again do a more of a in-depth video on because some people are curious on it. But basically, this is like the upscaling, making something go from 1080p to 4K, 4K to 8K, and anti-aliasing is I'd usually kind of just making sure, like say like bricks on the wall, sand, other textures are usually like consistent. They look nice. They don't seem weird, and I think that's a good thing at the end of the day. They also have supports out for resolutions for 8K, which is planned for future of these SDK versions, which I think is also huge. Like, do we need 8K? That might be a big critique, because not many people think we need 8K, and 8K is not standardized for resolutions. Most games are not made properly for 8K. 4K is still in the woodworks. Like, enthusiasts are on 4K. Now, a lot of people like it for their consoles. A lot of people like it for PCs. But like a 4K 60 is probably more important than an 8K 30. But either way, you still want to have both. If you could have 8K 30 and 4K 60 consistently, why not have both? Like, you're getting a pro console, you're spending extra money on it, why not just go get both? And I kind of agree. So this can be nice to see as well. So custom machine learning architectures too, which is basically back to like AI and kind of guesstimating all this type of stuff, because I think it's good at the end of the day. I think we want this. I think we want AI. I think we want AI in games. Maybe not for making games. There's a difference between the software and like actually making the game itself. Software kind of makes everything a little more streamlined, more efficient. It's nicer, it's better. I'm cool with that. They also have an AI accelerator supporting up to 300 tops of 8-bit computation, 67 teraflops of 16-bit floating points. Now, I'm not the most well-versed for it, but either way, it's just kind of more better computing, better processing for the console. I think that's a win. In addition, 38 WGPs running specialized BVH8 transversal shaders versus 18 WGPs running BVH4 transversal shaders on the standard PlayStation 5. So also, I think basically just kind of basically saying, hey, like it's just running more efficient. It's getting more like actual proper like textures involved in the game itself, and more potential like say shaders. So think about the overall shades for trees, grass, buildings. If you can make it bumped up a little bit more, it'll be a little bit nicer at the end of the day, mainly because they're making more, it's just more space available. Try to think about like trying to fill up a house with, let's say, pudding. Weird metaphor, I know. But let's say you have a slightly bigger house, you can fill in more pudding, which is the same thing for shaders. So basically with more, like a slightly better GPU, there is more rendering space, so a bigger house for more actual things to render. Shadows, or in that same equivalent, say pudding, you try to put everything in an apartment versus a house, you'll have more rendering availability in the house itself. Maybe a weird metaphor, but hopefully you guys got it, and if not, leave a hate comment down below. It's also saying that too as well, it means to make the PlayStation 5 Pro as competitive as well. So in terms of having price points, so it'll most likely have the detachable disk drive, which will be identical to the latest iteration of the standard PlayStation 5, and then the 1 TB of storage too as well. So it's kind of separate from the operating system we're talking about before. So currently the PlayStation 5 Pro is running on the SK 9.00 and SK 10.0, so basically just a brand new update for fall, which will also be corresponding with a big update for the Slim, big update for the Pro. Good news all around. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Samsung link down below, hashtag ad. We have the Twitter and Twitch down below. We'll be hanging out on Twitch if you guys are bored, and I appreciate y'all so much for watching in the first place.